Evening. Here is the world news from BGI TV, Baba Bagede Imo TV. I am Morire Rabila Lawal. First are the major headlines for the world news. Industrial court lacks power to rule on ASU strike. Falano. Nnamdi Kanu has not eaten for 2 days in excruciating pains. ISWAP terrorists announced presence in southwest Nigeria. Terrorist attack military checkpoint in ex-army chief's hometown. Bandit demand 250 million naira to release for the 3 persons abducted. 3 police officers kidnapped in Ogun. Also, hoodlums ransack loot Ogun school, pupils sent home. And in foreign, ex-minister sentenced to death for taking $92.39 million US dollars bribe. World's greatest footballer, Ronaldinho, gives honest verdict on Messi. Now the news in detail. Femi Falana, the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU's lawyer, has faulted the National Industrial Court order that striking lecturers return back to work, citing the violation of the process. Speaking on Channels TV on Friday, Mr. Falana said President Muhammadu Buhari's regime did not follow the standard procedure of presenting its case before the Industrial Arbitration Panel, IAP, before referring the matter to the court. He also clarified that the court is an appellate chamber of the IAP, meaning its jurisdiction is within hearing appeals on cases that the IAP has determined. This is the first time in the history of that court that we have been told that the minister can refer to a case, National Industrial Court, without going through the Industrial Arbitration Panel, IAP, Mr. Falana stressed. He added because the NIC under the current labor law regime in Nigeria is an appellate chamber of the IAP, so it is an appellate court. It is only when individuals are sacked that you want to challenge your employer or there are intra or inter-union disputes that you approach the National Industrial Court. Mr. Falana also said the court that had itself repeatedly warned the labor minister that cases taken to it regarding trade disputes must originate from the IAP, adding that a decision will be appealed. Moving on to the next story as regards Nnamdi Kanu. The detained leader of indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, has not eaten in the past 48 hours owing to excruciating pains occasioned by his gastrointestinal disorder. His lawyer, Mr. Ifeanyi Ejiofor, has revealed. Ejiofor, who made the disclosure after his team paid a routine visit to Kanu at the detention facility of the Department of State Services, DSS, on Thursday, alleged that the security agency procured substandard drugs to be administered on his clients. He accused the DSS of disobeying a substituting court order by denying the embattled IPOB leader access to his personal doctor and medication. A press statement, the lawyer, who refers to Kanu as Onyedu, a word in Igbo language that means leader, made available to Vanguard, read, as usual, the court ordered routine visits to our indefatigable client, Onyedu Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, was conducted today at the DSS headquarters, Abuja, where Onyedu is still being held in solitary confinement for over 14 months. Moving on to the next story as regards insecurity. The Islamic State-backed faction of Boko Haram, the Islamic State West African Province ISWAP, popularly known as Jamaat al-Sunnah Lid-Dawah wal-Jihad, says its men attacked a police vehicle in Ondo State. According to ISWAP, in a statement seen by Sahara reporters, the attack, which was carried out by soldiers of the Caliphate, occurred in Ipele, or local government area of the states. It claimed the fighters targeted an operational vehicle of the police with machine guns, which led to its damage. The group was, however, silent on if there was a casualty or not. The attack, if truly executed by ISWAP, could be a hint that the terror group is making an incursion into the southwestern part of Nigeria. ISWAP had claimed expansion into Abuja, Kogi, and Taraba in the last 6 months. In May 2022, the group said it was behind an explosion that rocked the ancient town, Kaba, in the Kogi West Senatorial District. Kaba is the headquarters of the Kaba, Borno LGA, and the people speak a dialect of Yoruba called Owe. The town is less than 10 minutes from Akuno Akoko and Ajowa Akoko in Ondo State, and less than 20 minutes from Omo in Ekiti State. When Sahara reporters called Fumilayo Odunlami, spokesman for Ondo State Police Command, she did not answer nor return the calls. To another security story. The Islamic State-backed faction of the Boko Haram has claimed province formerly known as Jamaat al-Sunnah Tijawat al-Jihad, has claimed that its fighters killed 2 soldiers during an attack on a military checkpoint in Buratai village, Biu, local government area of Borno State. Buratai is a country home of the former chief of army staff and chieftain of the ruling All Progressive Congress, Yusuf Buratai. The community is situated some 215 kilometers from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital. ISWAP, in a statement cited by Sahara reporters on Friday, said 2 soldiers were killed while others were injured during an attack on a checkpoint in the community during the week. The terrorist group also claimed responsibility for a September 17 bomb attack targeting a Nigerian army patrol on the road linking the towns of Damboa and Maiduguri, also in Borno State. Since the death of JAS leader Abubakar Shekau, ISWAP has been consolidating its grip in locations around Lake Chad. The sect's membership has swollen with the defection of hundreds of Boko Haram fighters under Shekau. The Nigerian army has repeatedly claimed that the insurgency has been largely defeated. Meanwhile, the terrorists have caused the death of thousands of people and displacement of millions of others, mainly in Adamawa, Borno, and Yobe states. Moving on to the next story. Suspected bandits who attacked Bekiawa community in Batagara, local government area of Katsina state, last Wednesday and abducted 43 persons have demanded a whopping 250 million naira for their release. Residents of the community, who are mainly peasant farmers and artisans, told Arise TV that they had information about the attack at about 7 p.m. and alerted the security agents. They said the bandit took more than 3 hours operating. The bandit killed 4 persons during the attack and then whisked away the abductees. Eyewitnesses said the police had to withdraw during the gun battle due to the superior power of the arms used by the bandits. The bandits were said to vandalize some shops, carted away food items as well as livestock. One of the residents, Yusuf Naura, said 4 of his family members, including his daughter, who is a final year student of the Federal Government's College of Education, Katsina, were abducted by the bandits. Moving on to the next story. No fewer than 3 policemen were said to have been abducted in broad daylight by some unknown gunmen in Ogun State. Daily Post gathered that the police officers were abducted on Thursday at Wasimi in Ewekoro, local government area of the state. The Corps had visited Ogun State from Zone 2, Onikon, Lagos State, for an investigation. They were said to have been duly booked at the police division in Wasimi before they left for their place of primary assignments. A reliable source told our correspondent that the officers, led by Inspector Oladipo Olayemi, were captured on the road around 2:30 p.m. It was gathered that the commercial driver who conveyed the Corps escaped by a whisker from the kidnappers. Daily Post learned that the divisional police officer in Ewekoro had led his men in searching for the missing policeman. Contacted the Ogun State Police spokesman Abimbola Oyemi, however, said that people were kidnapped, but only 1 policeman is involved. Oyemi told our correspondent that the police are on the kidnappers' trail, assuring the victims would be rescued. Moving on to the next story. Residents of Alagota in Ewekoro, local government area of Ogun State, were shocked to see the community primary school, Baptist Day School, empty on Monday following a midnight invasion by suspected burglars. Punch Metro gathered that the hoodlums broke the school ceiling to gain access into the classrooms where they carted away valuable items. The burglars reportedly stole classroom chairs, tables, bells, and some documents belonging to the teachers at the school. The school, which is located between Elebute and Alagoton areas of Ogun State, is a 3-block of classrooms accommodating many pupils from the 2 communities. A teacher who identified himself only as Adeyemo for security reasons told our correspondent that she got to the school on Monday only to see valuable items missing. He lamented that the school, which was built by a construction company, Lafarge PLC, was equipped with modern facilities which were stolen by the gang. Moving to the foreign story. Sun Lin-chun, former Vice Minister of Public Security, was on Friday sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve for taking bribes, manipulating the stock market, and illegally possession of firearms. Mr. Sun was also deprived of his political rights for life, and all his personal assets were confiscated, said the Intermediate People's Court of Changchun in northeast China's Jilin province. The court established that Sun received money and valuables totaling more than 464 Yemen million by taking advantages of various positions he held between 2001 and April 2020. The court also found that Sun manipulated stock trading in the first half of 2018 helping some other people avoid a loss of 145 million yen. Mr. Son also illegally possessed 2 guns, the court added. Finally, on the world news, there's a sports story. In case you are watching the world news from BGI TV, and completing the stories coming from the sports angle. Brazil and Barcelona legend Ronaldinho has provided his thoughts on Paris Saint-Germain's Lionel Messi being considered the greatest of all time. Ronaldinho refused to name Messi, who was his former teammate at Barcelona, as the greatest footballer of all time. At 35 years of age, Messi is slowly nearing the end of his career. However, the Argentine captain continues to be regarded as one of the best footballers in the world right now. Messi won 35 trophies during his 21-year stint with Barcelona and has bagged 2 titles with PSG so far. While the FIFA World Cup has evaded Messi, the 7-time Ballon d'Or winner finally realized his desire to win a trophy with Argentina last year as he led the La Avistas to Copa America glory in July 2021. However, Ronaldinho named football icons Pele and Diego Maradona and insisted that there are several players who were the best in their own generations, adding that it is difficult to pick only Messi. That concludes the world news from BGI TV. Before we go, some major headlines. National Industrial Court lacks power to rule on ASU strike, Femi Falana. Nnamdi Kanu has not eaten for 2 days in excruciating pains, lawyer declares. We also brought to you terrorists announced presence in Southwest. And on sport, world greatest footballer Ronaldinho gives honest verdicts on Messi. For more updates on YouTube, our handle is Bagede Imo TV. Kindly subscribe, click on the notification bell, select option all to access our broadcast. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawiye Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. On Instagram, Bagede Imo _22. For advert placement of your goods and services, coverage of events and function, please dial the phone number streaming on your screen for advert placement only. Thank you for watching. I am Morire Rebila Lawal.
Oh, na, na, na. If you want to know what's going on in city, or you want to listen to the latest news and gist, no stress, oh, just into BGI TV.